Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching yet another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. It's Tuesday night, and you know what that means. It's time for your WWE NXT Event Center report. And now here is the man to bring you that report, Mr. Eric M. Lima.
Thank you very much, Mr. Announcer, sir. Well, hello there, everyone. Welcome to yet another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. Episode 1577 of the show, and this is going to be on the first week of the Great American Bash on SyFy NXT. A lot of things have been going down. What's been happening, and just to let you know, there's some huge news concerning the WWE, and they'll be in the form of Japanese wrestling sensation Julia. She says that August 18th and 19th will be her last time wrestling before she heads to the WWE. And that's the case, it seems like to me. So the middle of August is her final. She'll be leaving Marigold in Japan for the great, for the WWE here in the United States. So, and I will talk a little bit about that because when we get to the main event of this matchup. And so, start off the NXT Great American Bash 2024, the part one. Hank Walker and Tank Ledger did like a little Mission Impossible type deal to get the show started, and to host as they were hosting the show, and they finally put the power on, and to kick it off, the women's tag team title was on the line. Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, the Unholy Union, defended them against the team of Metaphor upstarts, Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson, and Fire and Dawn retained the titles. Meanwhile, Ethan Page was addressing Oro Mensah after the matchup. And then Cedric Alexander was talking to Cutler James and some of the male NXT rookies, but Sean Spears says you have no right to tell them, and then Brooks Jensen was behind listening to the whole thing. He said, hey, I want a shot. And said to Alexander goes, okay, you and I in the ring later. And Hank Walker was interviewing Tavian Heights, and Tank Ledger was interviewing Tony D'Angelo about the Heritage Cup Championship matchup. And they were both determined that they're going to win the title. Tavian Heights was promising to bring the cup back to No Quarter Catch Crew, and Tony D'Angelo wants to keep it within the family. And so Pete Dunne explains his recent actions. Why did he attack Sheamus? Why did he attack Trick Williams? No. He's telling him figuring it out. And then Trick Williams says, you know what? We'll see who has it in the ring, who has it figured out in the ring. So that match is happening next week. A little stacked card. The NXT Heritage Cup title on the line, as you know, 6 3-minute rounds, 20 seconds round between each round, 20-second break in each round, between each round, pitfalls, fall counts, pitfall, submission, and count out. Disqualification or knockout ends the matchup. If there's a tie at the end of 6 rounds, winner retains the title. So that's how the Heritage Cup rules work. And Tony D'Angelo defends it against Tavian Heights of No Quarter Catch Crew. But during the matchup, all right, the first 2 rounds, nobody pinned. And then the last 3 rounds, there was a pin. Meanwhile, Ren Sinclair shows up in the crowd during the matchup, and then after the round 3 loss to Tony D'Angelo, Ren Sinclair, what the heck she was thinking, went up to Tavian Heights, smacked him a couple of times, said, let's go, you're the man, you can do this. He picked up the second fall in the matchup in round 4. But then in round 5, in the end, Tony D'Angelo retained the title. I'll tell you one thing. I think, I'm sure Charlie Dempsey will say, hey, Ren Sinclair showed her spunk. I like it. Let's include her. We'll find out next week. Cedric Alexander went one-on-one with Brooks Jensen Alexander ended up winning the matchup, and he was feeling very frustrated at the loss by the end. And Shawn Spears was appearing at ringside during the matchup. Javon Evans explained how he got into wrestling. He says, you know, he says every time his parents get into an argument, they end up turning on the wrestling TV, and they like yelling at the TV and all that. And when he was 6 years old, his parents divorced, but he was still in the wrestling, and he never stopped. So having Javon OG, I think the kid's got a bright future ahead of him. If he keeps on this path, he'll keep going. That's what I'm hoping that happens. And then Joe Hendry was in the back, and I'm talking to the NXT Women's Division Miles concert. Meanwhile, Ashante Adonis is at it again with these ladies. Ashante, if you focus more on your wrestling skills and with these ladies, you'd be sporting gold around your waist, man. I mean, you served our country, much respect to you, but dude, I know you love the ladies, but come on, Ashante the Adonis, Ashante. I know your last name is Adonis, you're trying to live up to it, but brother, come on. Get some wins, impress the ladies with wins, man. And then the MSK Rascals in their treehouse, and they were discussing about being the tag champs once again. So I said, we got an idea. And then Wesley goes, I'll text Nathan Frazier and Axiom about it. And then they had the Joe Hendry concert, and he was roasting Booker T, and there was a picture of him dressed up in the Scottish outfit, which I thought was hilarious. And he had a couple people up there that believe, Joe Coffey thinks he's like the son of Dutch Mantel, which is hilarious. But then Gallus comes out, interrupts, ruins the whole thing, attacks Joe Hendry, hits him in the head with a guitar. I mean, what? Gallus, the Three Stooges in Scotland. It shouldn't be the Coffey brothers, Joe and Mark and Wolfgang. It's Mo, Larry, and Curly. Come on. You guys are the buzz killers, dude. Buzz killers. You are all a bunch of buzz killers. Buzz killers. And all of a sudden now you attack Joe Hendry. You'll pay for that. Definitely. And then Roxanne Perez was trying to get her ready for a matchup, so Hank and Tank decided to annoy her. It's like how many post-it notes can he stick on himself in under 30 seconds? And he's trying to do it, and then he goes, would you guys do it somewhere else? I'm trying to prepare for a matchup. And to keep my title, and Jada Parker walks by, a title that she won't keep. I got a feeling that Roxanne Perez is going to get into Jada Parker's face next. Anyways, then there was a contract signed between Ethan Page and Oro Mensah. Contract officially signed next week. Titles on the line. Kendall Gray went one-on-one with Jason Parker. Then Ren's player Miles Bourne, who don't know when to keep their nose out of everyone else's business, came at ringside. Kendall Gray once again slams Miles Bourne. If she keeps this up to Miles Bourne, he's going to be hitting his head thinking he's smitten. There you go. But Jada Parker, because of the distraction, ended up winning the matchup. Rich Holland was talking to Thea Hale, trying to pump her up, and Chase U joins in on the talk. Say, hey, do whatever it takes. Let's do it. And then Axiom was talking to the LWO. Nathan Frazier interrupts them, questioning him about, oh, you got a speed title, you're locked in? Well, locked in, we'll be fine. Robert Stone and Stevie Turner did present him with the contract. Axiom was like, are you locked in? What's going on? And he said, we'll be fine. I got a hunch that sometime Axiom and Frazier are going to break up if they lose the titles to MSK next week. 6-woman tag action as Sol Ruka, Lola Vice, and Carmen Petrovic against Jasmine Nix, JC Jane, and Fallon Henley. And Henley, Nix, and Jane win the matchup. Tina Paxton was talking to Kaylani Joyner because I want to play. No, what about that? Because with this I don't play. It was like, Tatum just said it. I'll play in the ring with you. Fight you for that title. And then Wendy Chu is staring at her and she goes, what are you looking at? and Wendy Chu's got a smile on her face. Maybe if Keilani Jordan retains her title against Tatum Paxley, Wendy Chu could be next in line. Joe Hendry walked out of the NXT parking lot responding to the attack by Gallus challenged Joe Coffey next week. So it'll be the Battle of the Joes next week on NXT. Main event, Roxanne Perez versus Thea Hale. This matchup was great. A lot of people talking about matchup. They matched hold for holds, move for moves. But in the end though, Roxanne Perez retains the title. So I'm going to go on record and saying this after seeing those ladies fight. I'm going to go on record and say that Roxanne Perez and Thea Hale are the future of the WWE main roster women's division. Either Raw or SmackDown, or both going to end up on Raw, or both going to end up on SmackDown. Thea Hale and Roxanne Perez, that's your future. It's the youngest women's championship matchup in WWE history. Roxanne Perez is only 22. Thea Hale was just turning either 20 or 21. It was a heck of a matchup. These two young ladies have a bright future ahead of them, for sure. And then, like I said before, Roxanne Perez is done retaining. She's retaining the title. So you got a couple of people now in a couple of months that'll be heading to the WWE. Stephanie Vicaire, Julia, and Delta from Australia. Their three are coming to NXT very soon. Not only that, though, Nikita Lyons posting pics of her donning the wrestling boots again. Maybe Nikita Lyons can come back earlier than expected, or do some work out in the ring there. We never know. We know she's going to come back in October, Nikita Lyons. So if I were Roxanne Perez, I would put your head on a swivel, watch your back, and be careful. Do not underestimate anybody in the women's division. And it looks like maybe the next target could be Jada Parker. Who knows for sure. So that is it. That's all the time we have on the show. I want to thank you for tuning in to episode 1577 of Eric Lima Shenanigans 1977. Tomorrow we'll get the Joker's Wild, and then we get AEW Dynamite. So thank you for tuning in, and until next episode comes rolling around, Mr. Announcer, take us home.
That is all for today's episode. This is your announcer speaking for Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. A Big Beefy E, do it for Bob Saget Productions, and in association with a Raven Bofa Telepictures and Distribution. Thank you for watching today's episode. Tune in next time for another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. Goodbye for now.